Hi students, and welcome to today's live IELTS class. My name is Adrian and I'm streaming to you from beautiful Victoria here in Western Canada. I hope all of you have had a great week. I hope you're getting ready for an awesome weekend, everyone. This is an IELTS listening class. Specifically, we are looking at a gentleman who is registering for a football league. European football, not the American version, the global football, soccer. And part two will be a lecture about the famous ship, the Titanic. This will be part 1 and 2. The listening section is 4 parts. We will do part 3 and 4 next week. But this week, we focus on parts 1 and 2. The materials, the listening, audio, the questions are coming from our website, aehelp.com for academic IELTS and gieltshelp.com for general IELTS. The listening section, everybody, is the same for academic and general IELTS. In fact, when you go to your IELTS exam, general and academic students often take the listening section together. Welcome, Carolina, our chat moderator. You will see Carolina in blue. She is here to help guide the lesson. Glorette from Cameroon, welcome. Mariedna, nice to see you. Indu Nguyen Quang Dong, nice to have you. Vincent, a pleasure. Lovely to have everybody here. Those of you who are premium students on our websites at aehelp.com and gieltshelp.com, I will be sending you your premium class Zoom links today for your classes this week. If some of you are like, what is he talking about? This is our academic IELTS website here at aehelp.com. Click this big red button that's above my head there to join the premium version. It's a one-time payment for lifetime access. We're an IDP affiliate, a British Council partner, an IELTS test registration center for the at-home version of the test. And I have been teaching IELTS for nearly 20 years. I have examined, I have done the exam, I have made materials for it, I have trained teachers for it, I have done it all. I'm getting old. For the general IELTS, it's gieltshelp.com. It's the green background. And you can click that big red button there that's just above my head to join. Again, when you do that, you'll get all of our practice exams. You get 6 of them. You get over 120 videos just for the speaking interview alone. Use the code VISIT9 for a 10% discount. Again, it's a one-time payment, and we try to make it as affordable and as accessible as possible. Students, the apps are Academic IELTS Help and General IELTS Help from your app stores. The apps will link to the websites for learning on the go. And Instagram is going to be IELTS_AE Help and GIELTS Help. If you like to make videos and you are good at it, if you like to make videos, we can train you to be good at it. You can send a CV to us. We've got a great team of editors, and we're always expanding. If you have questions about IELTS, questions about English, questions about university, or going to another country, we can point you in the right direction, give you some advice. Send me an email, adrian@aehelp.com or admin@aehelp.com. Anahita, I am going to see what you're asking. Why is one skill retake only not available for paper-based exams, but when will they become? What is the name of a standard keyboard? I think you got a few questions there. You got 3 of them, Anahita. Yeah, everybody. So Anahita is asking about this new feature of IELTS called the one skill retake. Why is it not available for paper-based? It's only available for computer-based because the administration for computer-based is easier. So to make it viable, to make it efficient, they only did the one skill retake for computer-based. You cannot do it with paper-based because it takes too much extra effort on the side of the IELTS administrators or markers. That's why, and I don't think they will ever make it available for the paper-based. So if you plan to do the IELTS exam, it is a better idea to do the computer-based. I think that's the direction of the world. I don't think it will ever be available for paper-based, Anahita. I don't think they're going to do it. The name of the standard keyboard is called the US QWERTY keyboard. That's right. So Anahita is asking about this, and these are good questions. The listening section, I think it's easier for the computer-based. Okay, I think it's easier to do for the computer-based. So I do recommend doing the computer-based. When you're practicing for the computer-based exam, use a US QWERTY. QWERTY. Literally, I just tapped the top row of the keyboard here that I have. Keyboard to practice for the IELTS. It's a very good question, Anahita. If you have questions, ask me. So use a US QWERTY keyboard. I think in the IELTS they use the British, but I'm pretty sure the British keyboard is pretty much the same as the American or the Canadian. Canadian's a little bit different because of the francophone. But US and the UK keyboards are pretty much the same. Good questions, Anahita. So don't use a different keyboard, because when you go into your exam center, they use the US or the UK QWERTY keyboard. Okay. Anahita, you're in Canada, so they're going to use the US one, I think. Okay. All right. That's the keyboard. Guzal says, yes, I think the computer version is more comfortable. Eunice, send me an email. It should be working. The error could be on your end because your classmates are joining those classes, no problem. So just send me an email there, okay? All right. Just a little bit more here. The schedule right now, we're doing listening, okay? Part 1, part 2, as I mentioned. Tomorrow we're doing speaking, part 2, and then we'll do speaking part 3 through the website. I'll show you where in a moment as we get going on the listening. And then Sunday, we've got the speaking premium class for the premium students. Those of you who have premium accounts, you get a special email link sent to you for that. All right, let's do this. So let's get into the listening. For the listening, everybody, your first step, and again, this is easier in the computer-based, is while you hear the introduction. So this is my first tip to you. Tip 1. While you listen to the about 90 seconds of introductions, review the questions, or not the questions, I should say the topics of each part. Okay, so there are 4 parts, and you should look at the topics of each. I told you the topic of part 1 here. So part 1 here is a man registering for a football league. Okay, part 2 is a lecture on the ship Titanic. Okay, and then part 3, well, we'll soon find out what that is all about. And then part 4, right? So you want to check those because you want to start kind of thinking about those topics before the audio gets there so that you can maximize your scores. Okay? All right, so let's do this, everybody. This is the listening section for today. This is actually our very, very first exam in our books. I think you can actually get this one for free in the free version of the course. Okay. And we're going to listen to the audio, answer the questions. Don't put your answers in the chat. Put them elsewhere. Give everybody a chance. Don't confuse people with wrong answers, right? Don't be like, oh, this is the answer. And then it's like, that's the wrong answer. We'll go through the answers at the end together. So I'm going to put my headphones on so I can hear the details. You do use headphones in the real IELTS exam as well. If there is any problem with your headphones, you can test the audio. In the computer-based, this is also another nice feature that in the computer-based version, everybody has their own headphones. If there's any issue with it, they can actually transfer you to a different station. Okay. All right. So let's do the listening. We're going to go to the website. Again, this is aehelp.com. You have the same listening at gieltshelp.com here because, again, general and academic listening are the same. So we go to the website. To get all of the practice exams and 200 videos, click the red button, join it. And then you have a My Student account. In your My Student account, you have the computer-based practice exams. You have the paper-based practice exams. You have a full course. You have videos to teach you for each section. And then you have the audio CDs. Here in the audio CDs, this is the first test and the first listening. So this is what we click on. Everybody get ready to listen and answer questions. I will kind of guide you as we're doing this. Okay, but you won't hear me say too much. I'm just going to kind of move around and show you how your eyes should be paying attention to this. Okay, here we go.
This recording is copyrighted by 2 Think One Solutions Inc. and World ESL Tutors. You will hear several different recordings and you will answer questions on what you hear. There will be time given to read the instructions and questions, and you will be given a chance to check your work. The recordings will be played only once. The test is made up of 4 sections. At the end of the test, you will have 10 minutes to transfer your answers to the answer sheet. Now turn to Section 1. Listening Section 1. You will hear a conversation between 2 men as one of the men registers for a football league. First, you have some time to look at questions 1 to 5. You will see that there is an example. This time only, the conversation relating to this question will be played.
Hello there. I'd like to register for the Autumn Men's Football League.
All right. In what town will you be playing?
I'd like to play in Chester, but I'd be willing to travel to Liverpool if I had to.
The man says he wants to play in Chester, so B has been indicated for you. Now we shall begin. You should answer the questions as you listen, because you will not hear the recording a second time. Listen carefully and answer questions 1 to 5.
Hello there. I'd like to register for the Autumn Men's Football League.
All right. In what town will you be playing?
I'd like to play in Chester, but I'd be willing to travel to Liverpool if I had to.
Well, we have 2 spots left open on the team in Chester and 5 spots open on the team in Liverpool. There's a very good chance you would have to try out for the team in Chester. Are you a good player?
I consider myself a good player, yes. I have been to a number of the Autumn Men's League games in the past, just as a spectator, and I'm sure I would have no trouble fitting in.
Okay, good. So we will register you for Chester then. I just need to get some information from you, starting with your position. Where on the field do you prefer to play?
I'm a midfielder, although really I can play anywhere aside from goalkeeper.
Oh, I forgot to ask your name.
Right, I guess that's important. My name is Steve Trammell.
Would you mind spelling Trammell for me?
Certainly. Trammell is spelled T-R-A-M-M-E-L-L.
Right, now I need your home address, including your postcode.
I live in Chester, of course, at 452 King George Avenue. The postcode is MS868P4.
MS868P4?
Yes, that's right.
And your date of birth, sir?
The 8th of September 1986.
Okay. Now I need your phone number. Just a mobile number will do.
I don't have a mobile phone right now, unfortunately. I can give you my girlfriend's number instead.
That would be all right, I suppose.
Good. Her number is 329 633270.
Fine. I think that's all the information I need to gather from you. Do you have any questions?
Yes, I do have a couple. First, when does the season start?
The season starts on the 28th of September, although your first game is later, I think. Let me check the schedule. Yes, your first game is October the 1st in Liverpool. Let me make a copy of the schedule for you.
Thank you. Could you also tell me how long each game is?
Each game has 2 halves, 40 minutes each half, so the game is 80 minutes long.
That's a little shorter than the other leagues I've played in. Games are usually 90 minutes.
Yes, our spring and summer leagues are 90-minute games, but our autumn league has only 80-minute games. I think it has something to do with the poor weather.
You now have some time to look at questions 6 to 10. Now listen to the rest of the interview and answer questions 6 to 10.
Okay, can you tell me how many players are on each team? And I mean on the whole team, not just the players on the pitch.
Usually there are 5 additional players to the 11 on the pitch, so there are 16 players on each roster. We generally find that to be the perfect number. It allows for a few players to miss a game, but still allows lots of playing time for each player.
Yes, playing time is what I was worried about. I don't want to pay my money and then sit on the sidelines the whole season. Are there minimum playing time requirements?
Yes, each player must play a minimum of half a game, so you are guaranteed at least 40 minutes of playing time per game.
Wonderful. That puts my mind at ease. Could you tell me what facility we play at in Chester?
That information is on the schedule, along with the addresses of all the other facilities in the league. Here's your schedule.
Thank you. Oh good, it states we play 2 streets from my flat. How convenient.
That is very lucky. Do you have any more questions?
No, I think that's it. Oh wait, how much does it cost to register?
It's going to be £125 for the season, including all fees. How would you like to pay?
I'll be paying cash.
Right. Would you like a receipt? If you find that it doesn't work out time-wise, you can always bring the receipt back.
That is the end of section 1. You will now have half a minute to check your answers.
All right. Let's check those answers, everybody. So again, this was on our website, and you can see that on the website you've got lots of audio. There's, I think, about 55 different recordings for the exams. We actually have audio for all the reading passages as well to help you improve your reading, and all of that is included with a relatively low cost on the website, again, by clicking the big red button to join the premium version. Okay, let's go look at the answers together. So first of all, you saw me kind of walk you through the steps here. So again, remember, in the real exam, this is all you. You're doing all of this, okay? So when you hear the instructions, okay, on your note paper, in the computer-based exam, you have note paper as well. You should recognize that part 1 is registering for a football league. That's what we just listened to, okay? Part 2, you saw the pictures. The boat was there. The boat was there. It's the lecture about the ship, the Titanic. Okay. Part 3, what is it about? I highlighted some key parts there. So my eye was kind of scanning through the questions and looking at the titles of the table, the questions, the subject in some of the multiple choice questions. And because I looked at those, I know that part 3 is going to be what, everybody? What is part 3 about? Let's see if anybody can tell me in the chat. Mukarama, yeah, it's going to be exactly like this. This is the paper-based version that we're looking at here through the computer. The computer-based version is the same audio, just you see the questions in a little bit of a different format. You can check that out with Test Glider on our website. Okay, so Mukarama, this is exactly how it is for part 1. And then it gets more and more difficult for part 2, 3, 4. Okay, so part 3, what is it about, everybody? What was it? What were the topics? Anybody catch it? It is a group discussion history project. Right? Okay, that's what it is. All right, hopefully you caught that. It's important. That will give you an idea. You're listening to at least 2, probably 3 people, and they're going to be talking history. Okay? Veronica, that's awesome. Veronica just gave this information here, everybody. I love sharing success stories. Veronica, it's so nice of you that you came back to share. Veronica says, thank you so much, Adrian. I'm flattered. Your videos and teachings have helped me a lot. I love the present perfect. A lot. Veronica, I'm still teaching. Veronica, a lot. Always 2 words. Careful. A lot. I got my results today and my overall band was 7.5. Even though I got writing 6.5, the rest were good. Writing 6.5 is good. Writing is challenging. Writing is the most difficult section to get a good score. So it was 7, 8, 7.5. Very nice. Very nice scores. That's solid. That will get you into university or master's program. Nicely done. Please send me, Veronica, a testimonial to my email. Students who do a good job, I would love to hear from you on my email. Just say, hi, this is Veronica. Here's my picture. This is what I said. Send me your testimonial here and we can post it on the website. And Veronica, we can add you to our success stories if you're okay with that. It helps encourage other people. It tells them that, yeah, we're real. We help people and people succeed. All of these people are real people. It's, like, are those real people? Yes, they're real people. Like Veronica. So thank you, Veronica. Please send me an email. Okay, I would love to have your testimonial. All right, and then part 4. Part 4, you can usually figure out the topic really, really quickly, everybody, because it's like they title it. So in part 4, when you see part 4 in the paper-based or the computer-based version, then usually they just have a straight-up title. Okay, so it's like, boom, that's what it's about. And here it's just straight up like climate change. Boom. If you have a couple more seconds and you see that there are subheadings to part 4, read those, like background information, causes and implications, who is going to change, conclusion. Okay, so if you see those subheadings in part 4 and you have a chance to just really quickly read them, do it. Do it. It will help. So because part 4 is very quick, there's no pause, no break. They just go, 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 go. You have to just really, it's very rapid fire. You're going to see that next week when we do part 4. So the more kind of foresight prediction that you have, the better it is. Okay? Jasampreet, good luck on your 27th April exam. Don't try to predict your topics, please, Jasampreet. Students, don't try to guess what you will have. You can't guess what you will have. Just use good strategy, okay? All right. So part 4, climate change. Causes, conclusions, change, people who need to change, or what needs to change, conclusion, what needs to change. Okay, all of that. All right. Here we go, everybody. Let's answer some questions. And I'll teach you some more strategies as we do this. So, nowadays, since 2020, there's no example. Okay, so you do not get an example. They just go straight into question 1. So, number 1, how many football matches has the man played in the league? For multiple choice questions, listen for the answer. Don't stare at the options only. So don't be like, I didn't hear it. I didn't hear it. They didn't say 10. They didn't say 0. They didn't say 40 or 50. What happened? That, you know, they don't often actually say what you're looking at in the options. They say different information that gives you the answer. Okay, so don't just stare at the answers. It's a bad idea. Okay, listen for the answer. So here, the speakers, like, how many, you know, like, and then he says, I've been to a few games, but just as a spectator. So if you caught that, if you caught him saying that, then you very, very well know that the correct answer here is what? 0, right? B. Now make sure in your answer sheet you put B, not 0. I've seen that mistake, especially in the paper-based exam, where somebody's like, oh, it's 0. Wrong. Put the correct letter, okay? Letter, not number. Letter into the answer sheet. B, right? Don't lose marks for silliness. Don't be silly like me. Okay, what position does the man play? Right? So again, you got this question, the speaker's talking, they say, I can play anything. He says, I'm a Atenet, good. You got the right answer. Azim Abul Fatih says he is a midfielder. You're looking for the best answer. And yes, he says, I'm a midfielder. I can play anything except goalkeeper, or aside from goalkeeper. Right? Good, good. Lial, good luck on your mock test tomorrow. All right. The next questions, 3 to 4, are fill in the blanks. Complete the notes below. Write no more than 3 words and or a number. So you can write 3 words and or a number. Okay. What is his name? Now, dictation type questions are in every IELTS exam, usually in part 1, sometimes also in part 2, part 3. So the correct answer is Trammell, Ariadna, Sultan, storyteller. Double thumbs up. He says TRAMMELL, Trammell. Yes, students, you can write all capital letters, but I don't suggest doing that while you listen. If you're going to do that, do it when you transfer your answers to the answer sheet and the paper base, but don't do it while you listen. It takes more time and it's easier to make spelling mistakes. So if you must write all capitals, then when you transfer your answers, double, triple check. double, triple check. Double, triple check. Listen for dictations. Practice listening for British dictations. Again, website, aehelp.com. Join the premium version. Click on your My Student account. Go to your IELTS audio CDs. In the end, you have dictation. For instance, numbers.
Numbers. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Days of the week. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
Okay, so listen to those. Listen to those because you're going to hear them, and they will be some of your answers on the website, included in your audio CDs. Okay. We'll come back here in a little bit for the next part. We'll answer all the other questions first. Okay. All right. Address. Follow with the audio. Okay. So don't just go, oh, and they gave me this answer, so I'm going to take a moment here and rest my brain. Do not rest your brain during the listening, okay? Follow attentively. I know that sounds silly, but we sometimes do it without even noticing. We're like, oh, what? It's called a zone out. You zone out. In English, we say you zone out. Do not zone out, okay? I know a lot of you are like, Adrian's crazy. Of course I'm going to pay attention during the listening. If you're stressed and you're in that situation, sometimes it's easy to just be like, okay, so don't zone out. All right. Follow. They say 452 King George Avenue postcode. What is the postcode? It started with MS. Yes, that's right. MS 868P4. MS 868P4. Students, when you're doing postcodes, I definitely recommend capital letters. Okay, so big M, big S. They're easier to read, and technically that's usually how we do them. So for postcodes, it's not wrong to use small letters, but the practice is using big letters. Okay, birthday, 8th of September, 1986. Sure. Contact number, 329-633-3270. Sure. Match the time with the event. Choose the correct letter A to D. Number 5. Here's number 5. Stephen's first match. Is it A, 30th of September, B, 28th September, C, 3rd of October, D, 1st of October? Correct answer, Ariadna says 1st of October is D. Yes, it is. So there's a bit of talk there. Be careful when there's like a little bit of lead-in talk and there's some misdirection. He goes, oh, the league starts on September 28th, but I think your first match is a little bit later than that. Yeah, it's October 1st. Right? Okay, so you had a little time to check the following questions. Students, during that break, so in part 1, part 2, part 3, you have about 20 seconds here. Okay? So in between there's 20 seconds. And pay attention to the instructions. Okay, in the audio, the instructions say you now have some time to look at questions 6 to 10. Okay, the audio does not say now check your answers, or now look at the ceiling, or now check out that cute looking person sitting to your left. So the audio doesn't say that, okay? Do what the audio says, all right? The audio says look at questions 6 to 10. Don't review your questions because then you're going to miss the more difficult 6 to 10 questions. So pay attention to questions 6 to 10, okay? Everybody with me? All right? Okay, so look at questions 6 to 10. So you're looking at this and it says write no more than 2 words. Okay, game length, players on roster, minimum play time. All right. So, number 6. How many players are there? They give you a little bit of math and then they say it. They go, oh, there's 5 players additional to the 11 on the pitch. 11 means 1 goalie and 10 fielders, right? And 16. So all you need here is 16. Okay, just the number. Don't use the word. You can write Sixteen. Teen. 302. So you can, but if you spell it wrong, or if the examiner can't read it, you'll get it wrong. So use a number. When you can use a number, use a number. Okay? Minimum of playing time. Yeah, it's a tricky one. Indu, 40 min. They might not give it to you. The correct way to do this is 40 min. Technically, it's 40 minutes. So the correct abbreviation is MINS. They might give it to you for MIN. If you're not sure, just use the whole word, minutes, with the S. Okay? So to be on the safe side, you need that S and you need that dot. If you're using the abbreviation, technically that is correct, Sultan. Okay? All right, be very careful. It has to be correct English. Especially in British culture, they're very strict about accurate English. In Canada, we're a little bit confused between American and British English, so we kind of accept those smaller little differences. All right, let's take a look at question 8. Why does the man say he's lucky? He says maybe something like, I'm so fortunate. He doesn't say he's so fortunate. The admin says, oh, that is lucky. So he confirms. The man says, oh, good. I play 2 streets from my apartment. Right? So he's very lucky because, and a lot of you got that. Good job, Ariadna. Good job, Abraham. Good job, Azim, Sultan, Ugulhan. A lot of you caught that. As you should. So the correct answer here is C. Okay, number 9. What is the cost of the football league? How much? So here you're paying attention to dollars and cents, or pounds and pence. And the correct answer here was 125 pounds sterling. Students, you need the symbol here because they're not giving you the symbol. So you need this symbol for pounds. If you don't have that, it will be marked wrong. Okay? If they give you the symbol, you don't need the symbol. If they don't give you the symbol, then you need the symbol. It's kind of like IELTS is also checking, are you paying attention? I mean, if you're taking the exam for university, right? That's fair, right? It's like, why does IELTS check if I'm paying attention? Well, because you're applying for university or you want to move across the world. If you're not paying attention, that might be a problem in those situations also, right? So pay attention. Okay, how does the man pay for the registration? No, Musaif. I have a bit of coffee in me. It's too early. Drinking? Are you kidding me, Musaif? At 9 o'clock in the morning? Jeez. That would be awful. Morning drinker? Terrible. Cash. Yes, it is. But I have to admit, coffee does hit me pretty good at this point. So I'm a bit hyper, but hey, I think that's good. By the way, students, jokes aside, for your IELTS exam, don't drink too much coffee, okay? You would not want to have as much coffee in you as I have right now, okay? A little bit of coffee or a little bit of caffeine, okay, that's fine. But don't drink like a triple shot of espresso before you walk into your IELTS exam. It's not a good idea. Okay, all right. All right, so he pays cash. He says, I'll be paying cash. C-A-S-H. Yes. Okay. Doesn't need to be big letters. Definitely get good sleep, eat well, and use English before your test. Okay. Those are some important tips for you there. All right, students, a quick question. How did you do on that part? So I can see a lot of you are getting some answers there, correct? And like I say, as you should, okay? So what did you get in that part? How much did you get out of 10? You've got 10 questions total, maximum score of 10. We can convert to band scores later once we do all of them. And then what did you get? Okay, Single and Savvy says I got 8. Ugulhan says I got 10. Indu says I got 10 out of 8, which is not possible, Indu. It's got to be the other way, 8 out of 10. Azim says 9 out of 10, 10 out of 10. Okay, good. Students, here's an important tip. Important. Before you sit your IELTS exam, okay? So before you pay to sit the official IELTS, you should consistently get at least 8, but preferably 9 or 10 correct answers for part 1, listening. If you cannot do this, you should not sit the exam if you need band 6.5 or more. If you need like a band 5 or a 5.5 because you're doing a bridge program, then I would say 7 correct out of 10 at least, okay? But if you need a 6.5 or more and you're not getting 8, 9, 10 correct in part 1, it's not time to sit the IELTS exam. You will waste your money. Okay. For those students who get 7 or less on listening part 1, it's extremely difficult, almost impossible, unless you're really lucky, to get a band 6.5. Okay. So how do I know it's time to sit the IELTS? Okay. By seeing that you get at least 8 or more every single time you do a part 1. Okay. All right, students, let's do this. All right, let's do this. Let's get into part 2. Okay, everybody ready for part 2? Yes? Thumbs up? Yeah, Ate, if you need a 5 band overall, then it's a little bit lower. Like if you can get 7 in part 1, you might be able to get a 5 in the listening section. But if you're getting like less than 5 out of 10 in listening 1, then be careful. Okay? All right. Everybody's ready for part 2. Again, students, this is coming out of our online website course. This is one of our practice exams. To get all of these, go to aehelp.com. Click on the big red button. Okay, I'll put the link into the chat for you. It's https://www.aehelp.com. Full-course. You get access to all of our practice exams materials, and you get Zoom classes every week. It's a one-time payment, not monthly. Okay, you go to your My Student account, audio CDs. This is the first exam. It's part 2. Let's get into it.
Now turn to section 2. Take some time to look at questions 11 to 16. Listening section 2. You will hear a radio presenter interviewing a woman about the infamous ship Titanic. First, you have some time to look at questions 11 to 16. Now listen carefully to the interview and answer questions 11 to 16.
Good afternoon to all our listeners and welcome back to History Now, a weekly programme that reflects on subjects of historical influence. Today we are going to speak with Dr. Andrea Smithson, an historian at the University of Glasgow. Good afternoon, Andrea.
Good afternoon, Peter.
What are you going to talk about today, Andrea?
I'll be talking about one of the most catastrophic events in maritime history, the sinking of the Titanic.
I can't wait for you to begin.
Thanks, Peter. The Titanic was an enormous ship. The makers called it unsinkable. From end to end, it measured approximately the length of 3 football pitches. It had the capacity to carry over 3,500 passengers, as well as the over 800 people on the crew of the ship. Despite its massive size and impressive capacity, the Titanic was able to cruise at a speed of 40 knots. This was in large part due to the 59,000 horsepower engine. Just how much is 59,000 HP? Well, in literal terms, it's like being pulled by 59,000 horses. More realistically, it's the equivalent power of 500 cars. On the maiden voyage that left Southampton, England, on the 10th of April 1912, there were 1,343 passengers and 885 crew members. There were 3 different classes of tickets for those aboard the Titanic. A third-class ticket was the lowest level ticket. At the time, it cost between £3 and £8. A second-class ticket cost about £12. A first-class ticket cost anywhere from £30 all the way up to £870. In today's money, £870 is over £20,000. You may be wondering what the people in the first class were paying for. They had luxurious rooms on the highest decks, delicious meals for breakfast, lunch and dinner, as well as the finest entertainment money could buy. On the other hand, those in third class slept in cramped rooms which were quite plain and small and did not have access to the fine restaurants and entertainment on the upper decks of the ship. Now I'd like to tell you about a few lesser known facts about the Titanic. Although there were 4 large funnels, or smokestacks, on the Titanic, only 3 of them were functional. One of the funnels was put there just to make the ship look even bigger and more impressive. The ship carried over 70 tons of food for the passengers, including over 40,000 eggs.
You now have some time to look at questions 17 to 20. Now listen to the rest of the interview and answer questions 17 to 20.
On the night of the 14th of April 1912, on her maiden voyage, the Titanic hit an iceberg. About 3 hours later, early morning the next day, the ship sank. The reasons for the sinking are numerous. First, the watertight doors, which were supposed to keep water out, didn't work properly. Second, the night of the 14th of April was incredibly calm on the water. Icebergs are easily spotted when there are waves crashing against them. On this night, there were no waves. The strength of the metal in the Titanic was not as it should have been. The metal became brittle in the freezing cold and was easily broken by the iceberg. Another big factor was the inability of the Titanic to turn quickly. Once the lookouts had spotted the iceberg, the captain ordered the ship turned, but it was too late. If the ship had been able to turn faster, it would have missed the iceberg. One of the biggest tragedies about the sinking was that there were not enough lifeboats for everyone on the ship. In addition to this, many of the lifeboats left the sinking vessel with less than half of the people they were designed to carry. For example, the first lifeboat off the Titanic left with only 27 of the allotted 65 passengers. This unfortunate occurrence can be attributed to panic on the part of the passengers and crew. One can only imagine the sheer terror on board the ship that early morning. 1,523 out of the 2,228 passengers and crew perished that morning. Most died from the near freezing temperature of the Atlantic Ocean. Others drowned after being trapped in the lower decks. 705 people lived to tell their story, most of them women and children who were put on the lifeboats before the grown men were. Because of this, 94% of the first-class passenger women and children were saved, while only 14% of the third-class passenger men survived. Overall, 60% of the first-class occupants survived, while only 25% of the third-class ticket holders lived in the aftermath of this tragedy.
That is the end of section 2. You will now have half a minute to check your answers.
Let's check those answers, everybody. That's what that half minute is for. Overall capacity, there was a bit of math there. We'll talk about it. The ticket price was very clearly stated. I took some notes for this multiple choice. I visualized and paid attention to the smokestack difference. 5, 4, 3, correct. Then we had this flow chart of what happened. Paid attention to some of the key words there and figured out what most of those should be. Let's talk answers.
Now turn to section 3. Take some time to look at questions 20.
All right, so section 3 we will do next week, but this class is not over just yet. Let's answer these questions, everybody. So what was the overall capacity of the Titanic? How many people can fit on the Titanic? Not that it was full, but all together. If you have spelling mistakes, respect to everyone in your listening, they will mark that wrong. So be careful. Okay. The correct answer is Single and Savvy and Justin Preet. Yes, it's C. It's the overall capacity was 4,300. It was C. So it was a bit of math there. It was adding together 800 plus 3,500 is 4,300. So crew and passengers together, max capacity, every chair is filled, is 4,300 people. Fortunately, it wasn't full, right? Lucky. It could have actually been, it was bad, but it could have been worse. If it were full, would have been a lot more people who would have perished. Okay, number 12. What was the cost of a third class ticket? The price of a third class ticket, we had to wait here. We had to be patient. It took a little time. 30 to 870, way too much, especially back in 1912. 112 years have passed since the Titanic, yeah. Between 1 and 2 pounds, between 3 and 8 pounds. The answer again was C, yes, between 3 and 8 pounds. Now here we had 3 benefits. Now notice what I did for this question. I did not pay attention to the answers. What I did is I took some notes, and that's how you conquer these kinds of questions, is you take notes. And I quickly wrote down luxurious rooms, delicious food, entertainment. Hopefully you had the same. So what did they have? Watertight doors? No. Luxurious rooms? Yep, that matches. Great entertainment? Yep. High quality meals? Delicious food? Yeah. Okay. Access to casino lower deck room. They didn't say anything. Maybe it's true, but so it's BCD. Very good, Ariadna. Very good, Ugulhan. Very good, Justin Preet. BCD or BDC or CDB. It doesn't matter the order. Just the 3 correct letters matters. Okay. All right. Number 16. Which of the following is the best representation of the Titanic? A boat with 5 chimneys. Looks a bit silly. A boat with 4 chimneys. It still looks kind of silly. Or a boat with 3 chimneys. Yeah, B. Now we realize, of course, that one of these chimneys is a fake. Which one was it? Which one's the fake chimney? Which one would you make the fake chimney? Was the fake chimney the first one, the second one, the third one, or the fourth one? Which one was the fake chimney? Yeah, Abed says one of them is out of order. I don't even think it was out of order. I think it was just a fake chimney. Yeah, Azim says probably the first. If you're the engineer, if you're going to be silly enough to put a fake chimney, at least be smart enough to make it the first chimney, right? So I would make it the first one, but who knows? Why? Well, it's so that everybody on the boat doesn't have to smell the smoke coming from the first chimney, right? Let's get the smoke going from these three backwards off the boat. Let's keep the first one as a fake one. Who knows? I don't know. That would be my guess. But you can always research, investigate. Which one of the chimneys on the Titanic was the fake one? Now that's trivia, right? But anyway, the correct answer is B. There were 4 chimneys. It's just one of them was a fake. They should have put some more lifeboats on the Titanic instead of the fake chimney. Who knows? Maybe some people were able to use the fake chimney as a lifeboat. I don't know. Probably. Asim says you can hide it if it's in the middle. Maybe. All right, everybody. Then we had this flowchart. In flowcharts, you're really listening for some key words. Okay, but you have to be careful because they paraphrase a lot of these. So let's do our best. So extremely calm night, no something crashed against the iceberg. So the flowchart is in the correct order. The speaker kind of jumps around a little bit, and this can happen. So really pay attention. You have to look at these questions as a whole, as a complete. Okay. So extremely calm night, there were what? No something. It's one word. Ariadna, very good. Waves. Ugulhan, very good. It was no waves crashed against the iceberg. That's why they couldn't see the iceberg, because there wasn't that white kind of crashing of the waves. So they couldn't see it. So the Titanic hit the iceberg. Bang. Would have been quite the sound. Quite the scary sound and sensation. The watertight something failed. What failed? Number 18. Okay, so the boat, they wanted to have some safety features, but it sounds like the safety features weren't safe. The watertight wasn't function, Sultan. We don't say watertight function. The watertight what? Doors. Yes, it should be doors. You're correct. And it should be plural. Not door, but doors. The watertight doors. Obviously, the Titanic would have multiple doors. So men, sorry. They probably will not give it to you for door. The watertight doors. You can count doors. The watertight doors failed. Really listen for the S sounds, okay? Practice listening for plurals. If there's no article like a watertight door or un, then there's a good chance it's a plural. Many something left the ship half full. This is a little bit of a tricky one because you have to know how to spell this word as well. But many of the something left the ship half full. Many of the what left the ship half full. That's right. Lifeboats. Jasampreet, very good. It's one word. Lifeboats. It's a good word to know in English. Could save a life. Many lifeboats left the ship half full. Indeed, they did. Horrible, horrible, horrible. The first one, I think they said something like 20 something instead of the 60 that can fit. They were panicking. They were freaking out. Right? If anybody saw the movie, the Titanic, and the people who survived told the story of what happened, I mean, people were panicking. A lot of people didn't even know how to swim back then. Right? Swimming, like most people knowing how to swim, that's a very modern culture, right? I mean, here in Canada, just about every person knows how to swim. But at that time, people didn't know how to swim yet. A lot of people didn't know, right? They didn't learn how to swim. They could kind of float and splash, but they weren't like power swimmers like today, right? So scary. Anyway, many of the lifeboats left the ship half full. 1,523 people died, most from the freezing cold temperatures of the what is 20? It's not water. Freezing cold temperatures of the Atlantic. Ocean. You need the correct spelling there, everybody. Big A, big O. Atlantic Ocean, small O. Get it wrong. Okay, small A, small O. Storyteller, you'll get it wrong. Abed, Atlantic Ocean, big O, big A. That's right. How did you do, everybody? What did you get out of 20? Now that you did part 1 and part 2 with me, what did you get out of 20? Remember I said that you need at least 8 or 9 on part 1 if you're going to go for a band 6.5 or more on your IELTS. So if you're going to go for that 6 point, you should be, for part 1 and 2 together, you should be aiming at least for 16 out of 20. Why? Because part 3 and 4 are more difficult. So Ariadna, 9 is fantastic. Single and Savvy, 17 is good. Azim, 17 is solid. Okay, so as long as you're over 16 and you're consistently over 16 for part 1 and 2, you're ready to sit the IELTS exam. Okay. All right. Students, again, this practice exam is coming from our website. It's here. And if you want to go ahead, then you can listen to part 3 and 4. I will do part 3 and 4 next Friday. At the bottom, we have a score calculator. So if you do your practice exams and let's say you get 34, you can see that that's a band 7.5. So you can calculate your scores. Okay, same for the reading. For the reading section, you can calculate your scores. 25 is a 6. Okay. Also, in your My Student account on the website, you have the Test Glider that's over here. And Test Glider now lets you buy this is an add-on feature, Test Glider over here. You can now buy single tests for $5 basically, or you can buy 8 computer exams that are exactly like the real IELTS for $20. That's a great deal. Okay, so basically for like $50 you can get 14 practice exams, 200 videos, premium Zoom classes each week, all for like $40-50 in some countries. In countries like Canada, it's a little bit more, but it's still like only like $100, okay, or like $80 if you have a discount code. So you're getting all of that structured learning for a really good price. So go to the websites, go to aehelp.com, join the premium package, click the big red button, bada bing, bada boom, and you're good to go. Okay, you don't need to scour the internet for free materials and waste way more time, right? Go do a bit of work for an hour, get some money, or for a few hours, and then get some good materials. That's the idea. Okay, General IELTS, gieltshelp.com, green background, listening sections are the same, everyone. I'm back tomorrow with speaking part 2 live class, okay, here on YouTube a little bit earlier, and then we'll do speaking part 3 through the website. We have live class on the website as well, and then I'll be sending Zoom links later today for our premium students for those premium classes. You're super welcome, Justin Preet. I saw a couple people in the chat here today said that they got some good band scores. Please send me a testimonial. I love getting those. Okay, I really do. Carolina, thank you for moderating. That was awesome. Great participation, everybody. Keep your chin up, looking forward, because you are all beautiful, amazing people. I'm Adrian. I'm signing out from Victoria, Canada for now, and I look forward to seeing all of you tomorrow. Bye, everybody.